there's a new sheriff in town, and he's going to clean things up. At least that's the hope. He's going to clean things up because, boy, the news that's been coming out of the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office for many, many months now, just absolutely depressing, from a task force that was working with local Mission PD, and then you got some sheriff's deputies, and you got that Panama unit and all the drug running they were doing, and, of course, the sheriff pleading guilty to money laundering, and then his commander, same thing. And kind of disappointed to see that the other charges, drug charges, everything else, kind of taken off the table, and what a mess. So we need to start over, press the reset button at the sheriff's office, which kind of reminds me, as I was coming up to this interview, I was reminded of one of my all-time favorite clips from Mel Brooks, Blazing Saddles. Maestro, please play the segment.
The sheriff will be here at noon. Noon? I better rehearse my speech.
Uh-huh.
As honorary chairman of the Welcoming Committee, it is my privilege to extend to you a laurel and hearty handshake.
Wonderful.
Lovely. Excellent.
Hey, Gabby, can you see him yet?
You know where this is going, man. This is beautiful. Genius.
You're coming.
Uh-huh.
Ring out the church bells.
Strike up the band.
Wait a minute. Anyway. Yeah.
Hey, the sheriff is on next.
What are you saying? The sheriff is near.
No, got a flaming thing blowing. The sheriff is on next.
Look at that. Thank you, Fred.
Mel Brooks is the master
He
of
is,
timing.
man.
That's what it breaks down.
that is Omar along with Johnny. They're sitting in the studio because next week at 11 in the morning, we've got a new show, Radio Retaliation on 710 KURV. They're sitting in this morning with me as we welcome the new interim sheriff for Hidalgo County is Eddie Guerra. Eddie, have you seen that movie? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes, I've seen it.
Yeah.
And thank you for that introduction.
Trying to create a little bit of levity going into the segment. But by the way, your family, the Guerra family, has very, very deep roots, political roots and everything else. But on the business side, there's something that Omar was telling me. Are you guys the same family that owns the chorizo factory there in San Manuel?
No.
No.
Oh,
we're distantly related. From the Guerras that started.
That's a shame, you know. We were looking to have like an inside track, so get some free chorizo over there or something like that. Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Sheriff, you've been on the job for 2 weeks now, and I invited you a couple of weeks back, and you said, okay, let me assess what's going on. Give me 14, 15 days. So,
yeah.
and now that you've been on this new gig, tell me, what's at the very top of the to-do list? What do you think?
Well, the very first thing we're doing right now is, of course, you realized I hired a chief deputy from Major Mario Lopez from DPS. He's put in the retirement papers, and he's been allowed to use some vacation days and some comp time to start helping me. And he's sitting down with all the commanders, and we're restructuring everything on the command level. They've had extensive meetings, and they were in there yesterday for 4 hours. They couldn't come up with a plan yet to present to me, but they're going to go at it again on Tuesday.
What does he need to change? What is he going to do?
Well, what we're doing is the commanders are now going to be assigned the responsibilities. In the past, talking with the past command, a certain commander had this and a certain commander had this, but one commander, or the chief of staff was the one that made the decisions. Well, that's not going to happen here, because that's going to be, you're going to have your assigned duties and what your area of responsibility is, and there's going to be no excuses. Those are your areas, and those are what you're responsible for.
I would imagine that you have commanders for every branch of your administration, right? Can you explain to me how many branches you have that go out from your office?
Well, first of all, the jail has its own commander.
Okay.
And that commander is going to obviously, he's in charge of the whole And then again, the other three commanders. I have one chief deputy and three commanders. And those I have one commander in charge of the east side, one commander in charge of the west side, and one commander in charge of administrative and support services.
Okay.
And that's how it's been in the past. And they're hashing it out right now to see where, of course, the jail's kind of on its own. I mean, he's got his own responsibilities, but at times he's got to come out to the other areas asking for help, and so they'll have to work together.
How many people are under your command, sir?
Well, there's just, as far as total, there's just shy under 800 employees, and that includes the jail and all the support
yes,
staff.
Sir. The majority of the people that work for the sheriff's office, where are they concentrated? In patrol or at the jail?
No, the jail.
The jail.
I have more detention personnel and support staff in the jail than I do in the sworn peace officers.
All right. Who takes care of running inventory on either, I don't know, like evidence that you pick up, gather stuff that you pick up off the street from trunks full of cash or drugs or stuff like that? Who's in charge of that?
Well, that's those are the areas where now we're going to have a clear set and define who's in charge of every aspect of the enforcement.
All right.
And that's what we're working on right now. And they should have a plan they should have it all hashed out by Tuesday, and then if I sign off on it, then we're good to go.
It sounds like everybody's doing some homework this holiday weekend.
Well, and what I was proud of is when I did walk in and just sat in on some of the meetings is there was some that some commanders that were fighting for not wanting to let go. They were give me this.
Can you give me an example of what they wanted to retain?
Well, for instance, SWAT, canines, narcotics, evidence. Nobody wants the administration, the budget. All the what I call the most exciting part of law enforcement.
Yeah. The sexy part of their job, in other words.
That's the word I was looking for.
Understood.
The sexy part.
Yeah.
Correct.
Do all players, though, everyone that's beneath the commanders and the structure, do they all stay in the same place? I know that the duties might be mixed up a bit or be shared or passed on to other people, but do they all stay relatively in their same place, or do you start moving people around? Okay, now you get off patrol, you go to the jail, you from the jail, you go off and do evidence and stuff like that. Are you going to move people around to try to shake things up?
Well, yes, there will be some moved because we're finding as a restructuring. I don't need then this captain's not needed here, or this lieutenant or this sergeant's not needed here, so we've got to move them here, and those are being reassigned.
On evidence and stuff that you have locked up, maybe looking back at cases and things that were seized, audits, inventory. When is that going to happen?
That is currently happening right now. I already met with the auditor's office, and they are conducting a complete audit, but it's going to take some time. I mean, they're going from everywhere from vehicles to guns.
Yes, sir.
To money to evidence. It's a long process.
Where's the auditor's office, by the way, sir? Is that from the county or the internal? Or okay?
No, it's the county auditor. His office is on the administration building on Canton and Business 281.
Okay.
And he has a large staff. Purchasing is also involved. The county purchasing office is involved also with that. They've already started on the east side substation. They've already gone out there and they've started auditing all the east side substation.
Okay. Sheriff Eddie Guerra, Interim Sheriff Eddie Guerra, joining us on 710 KURV. We're talking about the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office, new leadership, and getting to know Sheriff Guerra a bit more. Now, it all goes back, this auditing and the inventory and all that type of stuff. It seems to go back to the same government structure that we had before, where You know, I know the auditors, they have a separate job and they're supposedly independent, but don't you think it would make sense to ask the county to bring in an independent auditor or an out-of-county auditor from another county, or maybe bring in the state to help us do a true audit that would be much it would smell better to the local population. And, you know, I have to ask this in light of the ridiculous headlines that we've been seeing the past several months.
But, do you know our county auditor? He does not report to the commissioner's court. His bosses are the board of judges, and he is very, very strict and very, very very thorough in his audits. I've dealt with him as the constable. We've gone round and round a few times, but I have nothing but the utmost respect for Mr. Frosty.
Okay.
His office does a good job. He does not report to the commissioner's court. He reports to the board of judges.
Okay, and the board of judges is made up of our district judges?
District and county court judges.
Okay, it's still the same government, sir. It's still the same county. And I would think that people would want something from the outside. I'm just saying here, okay?
Yeah.
Because look what happened in Cameron County. Look at the judge and the attorneys and all that type of stuff over there, and then, you know, they've had their own. We really would like to see a change. I'm just lobbing it your way to consider this, chew on it for a while, because people are going to want answers. They want to change up the players and make sure that we get a true audit of everything. Because if we go back to the DA's office, it's all the same. It's all the same government. And I was going to ask you about the HIDA, this whole HIDA thing, the high intensity drug trafficking task force, whatever that is. Where is that right now? Is that still over at the prosecutor's office, or is that coming over to you?
No, that's currently at the DA's office. He has that HIDA. I think if I remember correctly, it was under the sheriff, under Henry Escalon, and then Rene Guerra went and lobbied it to fall under his. We haven't talked about that yet.
Yeah. No, I understand. That's another to-do thing on the menu.
Yeah.
Can you explain to folks what this task was, this high-intensity drug interdiction task, whatever it is? What does it do, sir? Can you explain to folks? Do you understand enough to explain it to me?
Yes. Basically, they receive federal funds, they receive state funds, and it's a combination of currently those officers are commissioned. The state officers are commissioned by the district attorney's office, and then they have federal agents from all the federal agencies assigned to that HIDA, and they do mostly high-level narcotics investigations.
These are the guys that I suspect. I think if you know where our building is here at 710 KURV ORCOM, right? These are the guys that are meeting at the big federal DEA building that's next to us, right? You get all these law enforcement agents to get together, they powwow on what to do next?
And there's also a federal HIDA. That has the HSI also has a HIDA.
Okay.
There's two HIDAs here, and most of those are mostly made up of just federal agents and task force officers from different local PDs. There's two HIDAs down here.
Are you determined to open up the books and be completely transparent and show anyone and everyone what is taking place as you uncovered, as you peel back the layers of this onion, no matter how smelly it might be, to show the public, this is what's going on, this is what we're going to change, we're going to ask for either local, if you can get it, good luck on that, if you can get it local prosecution, maybe ask for state prosecution or federal prosecution of any crime that you uncover as you go to the different layers.
The good thing about it is this is right now, everything that's happening is all in the federal level. So anything that we uncover, they've already got nexus to it. So the federal government will be involved if there's anything else to be uncovered on the Panama unit or the ex-sheriff or the ex-commander and the ex-chief of staff.
All right. Anything that's
we're looking at it. And I've gotten the Rangers have been there and also members of the HSI. They're still doing follow-ups, and we're cooperating. All the staff is cooperating with them. So we're
Our guest right now on 710 KURV is the interim sheriff of Hidalgo County. It is Eddie Guerra. And you know what, Fred? If anybody has a question, you take the question, you write it, and you give me the best ones in case somebody wants to forward a question. Sheriff, can you stick around for about 5 more minutes, and then we'll close that at the bottom? How about that?
That's fine.
Okay. Sheriff Eddie Guerra from Hidalgo County, our guest right now on 710 KURV. Fred's going to stand by and filter the calls and make sure to get the best questions this way. The number to call, 800-580-8255, 800-580-8255, for meeting the new sheriff in Hidalgo County, right here on 710 KURV.
Martin Randall here with Total Imaging Solutions. Are you a covered entity worried about employee whistleblowing, key tam lawsuits, or major fines with HHS auditing you for HIPAA compliance? If not, you should be, but don't despair, for you're not alone. The HIPAA Final Rule are new regulations, pages 42 and 43 of the rules pertain to your copier and more. Devices that may potentially store and reproduce protected health information are subject to privacy and security rules. So ask yourself, what measures are in place to protect data at rest? Do you have the ability to monitor and track the photocopying activities of protected health information? Who uses your machine today and why? Do you have control? If the answer to any of these is no, call Total Imaging Solutions, for we have the solution to effecting total security. At Total Imaging Solutions, we are the solution. We close the loop to HIPAA compliance, all for around the same price you're paying today. Call and ask for me, Martin Randall, at Total Imaging Solutions, 664-2113. That's 664-2113. I look forward to hearing from you.
News, weather, your information station. This is Newstalk 710 KURV.
Time is 10:25. Saturday open phones on Newstalk 710 KURV. Sheriff Eddie Guerra, interim sheriff Hidalgo County, my guest right now. We're getting to know the sheriff. We're talking about some of the all the homework that he has to do these days. He and restructuring things over at the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office. One caller that just left the line, Sheriff, was asking, to your knowledge, what has this HIDA task force, or I guess that and the other one, what have they accomplished so far? Do you know? Are you aware of that?
Well, you know, when I was at the consul's office, we assisted HIDA in their investigations, and they don't showboat. They don't show off what investigations they've accomplished, but they do high level narcotics investigations.
Is their work audited, sir? Can it be audited? All of it?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. All their work. Most of their seizures, their money seizures, their vehicle seizures, or land seizures, are all subject to Chapter 9 of the Code of.
All of them, or only seizures of a certain size, like the big stuff that you said earlier?
Well,
like the little stuff that they get. What happens to that?
The little stuff. Well, I mean, it depends. I mean, they're not going to go after the street level dealers. Unless it has a nexus to one of their higher investigations.
All right.
But anything they seize, jewelry, vehicles, all that is seized under Chapter 59, which is all of it's audited by our county auditor and the state auditor, and everything's accounted for, and that's all public information.
All right, so you push hard on that. You make sure everything is accounted for on that one, right, sir. As the top cop in Hidalgo County, and this is something that came from Johnny, one of our future co-hosts here on 710 KURV. He was asking if you are privy to everything that the feds are doing on our land in Hidalgo County, whether it's ATF, whether it's DEA, FBI. Are you aware of what operations they have going on at any given time, or are we in a scenario where, for example, up southwest somewhere where ATF might be walking guns into Mexico, and then surprise, surprise, that finally comes out?
What we're doing is we're putting task force officers in most of the federal agencies.
Okay.
And we're going to be very transparent about it. And these officers, my officers, are going to want to first of all be a task force officer, and they have to pass a very strict background check, a very strict credit check, assigned to those different. They're the liaison between the sheriff's office and the federal agency.
You make sure those guys report to you as often as possible, to your commanders, I guess, and back to you.
They're going to report directly to the chief deputy.
All right.
And only
there we go. To the chief deputy.
And they will keep us abreast of any information, anything that we need to know about.
I mean, it almost sounds like you need to continuously do, like every 12, 18, 24 months, like do some musical chairs, start moving people around so that nobody gets too comfortable in one position.
That is correct.
Right? Yeah. Drug screening, lie detector test, anything new that's coming up for everybody on the staff, including your office?
No. As far as drug screening, they're still random. There's still random drug screening for all personnel. We just I believe earlier in the week I was told we just hired our new polygraph contractor, so we got him on board. Before one of the captains was a licensed polygrapher, and we lost him. He retired. So and it costs quite a bit of money to invest, send somebody to be a polygrapher. So.
Right.
We contracted it out.
Let me punt over to Omar. He's one of our co-hosts here on Radio Retaliation, new show that starts next week at 11 o'clock on 710 KURV.
Radio Retaliation.
Radio Retaliation. You're going to love these guys. Okay, Omar, what's your question, brother?
Oh, well, good morning, Sheriff. Thanks for being on with us. We just a lot of our listeners are CHL holders. They wanted to see. They were a little concerned. They wanted to see if you could answer in just a simple yes or no, because I know we're going to that break soon. I think there was a proposed CHL ban on county property that was proposed, I believe, from your section of the constables when you started up, and they just wanted to see if that was something that you did propose, and as sheriff now, if that's something you're going to try to implement.
Well, on that particular case, the constable's office, if you recall, that annex building back was bought from First National Bank, and it housed the county judge's office. It housed the adult probation, IT, when the county moved in, and then commissioner's court was held in that building, and that building was, the security of the building was given over to the constable's office, and the commissioner's court is a court, and of course, you cannot take weapons into a court. So the district attorney, at the time, Rene Guerra, wanted to ban the weapons from the building. So he proposed that and put it under my section on commissioner's court. And I didn't know it until I got a phone call from one of the community members, and then I did the research on. Actually, she brought me the research, and I went and told the executive officers, "Hey, we can't do this. We can't have this. Maybe only on Tuesdays when we hold court, but otherwise, DHS holders are allowed in that building."
All right, Sheriff. Listen, we appreciate all your time. I know you're trying to spend time with your family on this holiday weekend. Thank you much, Sheriff. And as I let you go here in this segment, I know that you're coming in to help. You're trying to help to cleanse a department that is soiled by all this corruption, and you can just imagine how public trust has been sagging. And you're trying to play the role as an outsider and clean things up. And I'm going to propose to you something, Sheriff, kind of going back to what I said a minute ago about bringing like an outside audit and look and assistance to help clean things up around here to try to build public confidence. On the political side, sir, I don't know if before you got this gig, you were asked to kiss the brass ring and run as a Democrat, but I'm going to propose to you, sir, some political marriage here. Run as a Republican, Sheriff, because you still need to make that decision. I'm just going to throw it out there. Pray about it. Consider it. You really want to shake things up and create a ripple effect across the state of Texas and say we are serious about this? Run as a Republican, Sheriff. That's all I have to say. All right.
Opinions don't reflect.
And if you don't run, I want your mustache to run as a Republican, for sure. Okay?
That's an epic mustache.
I think you've been reading some social media pages.
Eddie, take care, brother, and best of luck. You keep in touch. That is our interim sheriff for Hildago County, Eddie Guerra joining us on 710 KURV.